An appropriate range where we should be. So that all that means is that everything is going according to plan.
According to plan. Having big mice on the rockets in outer space is according to plan.
Okay, hello truth seekers. In this video, I will explore with you the concept of the inner monologue. That is a conceptualization of how people think, whereas some people use visual imagery or otherwise somehow process thoughts without audible words or imagery in their mind, while others think using a representation of their own outward voice in their head. I primarily seek to make this video a type of poll to assess those who are into the topics of reality investigation and exposing government corruption. Do these individuals think symbolically or with language or some other means? So I'm going to play a segment from a video that I'll purposely hide the title from you of, just to set a foundation for this poll, and then I'll proceed with you to the next step, which I'll explain. Okay, so here's the first segment.
To their own taunts online of things like Orange Man Bad and Drumpf, that Twitter went on a mass ban on anyone using the meme, and they did so to save the feelings of the blue checks so they could have their safe space contained and that no other thoughts that they disagree with could find them there. But since that time, science has come to the forefront with research that, while not conclusive of course, points very much to the existence of the proverbial NPC.
Okay, I'm going to play a second clip.
Now then, while many people have no inner voice, there are also those with aphantasia, an absence of visuals in their mind. And Science Alert explains it as such. Aphantasia is a strange condition where some people are unable to visualize images in their mind. For a long time, aphantasia could only be identified thanks to people's self-reported experiences. Now, we may finally have a way to detect it in a different way. In this case, the eyes have it. More specifically, in a new study, aphantasia could be detected based on pupil dilation response. What is known is that our pupils can change size due to cognitive tasks. Basically, what they found was that when test subjects were asked, those with self-reported aphantasia and those without, what they found is that the pupils of individuals with regular visual imagination would still contract and expand, while pupils of individuals with aphantasia didn't change in size to a significant level during tasks that asked them to visualize in their minds.
Okay, so this video will be a poll. In the comments below, provided you feel comfortable sharing this information, indicate whether you use inner monologue with your thinking, your thoughts are completely visualized, or you use neither modality in forming your thoughts. There are some assumptions that this particular YouTube video producer has made concerning the phenomena of different modes of thinking, and I simply want to test his hypothesis with a survey. I was interested in thinking styles back during my high school days when I was preparing for the SAT test. I would look at the average score percentages for certain elite schools, Amherst, Brown, Harvard, Stanford, etc., and note that those successfully admitted tend to do extremely well in both subsections of the test, reading and math. But it seemed like overall there's slightly relative advantage in math compared to reading comprehension skills. I speculated at that time that proficiency in linguistics versus mathematics possibly bore a relation to components of intelligence, which we measure on an IQ test called the Wechsler Intelligence Scale. The commonly used version of the test, the WISE-4, is capable of dividing intelligence into domains of processing speed, fluid intelligence, and crystallized intelligence. Crystallized intelligence is that component of one's IQ that one can improve upon through practice of continued learning. Fluid IQ more closely captures one's ability to problem solve, and a famous example of that ability on display is problem solving for the matrices, example which is shown here with patterns. So I come to consider that those who would be good on a component of the IQ test that scores problem solving and advanced pattern recognition would also be those individuals more likely to perform well on the math portion of the SAT test. And in this current day, I consider the association possibly with having more image-based thinking or non-verbal thinking being associated with higher fluid intelligence and a greater mathematical acumen. Of course, I don't really know if any of this is true. I'm showing you these subtilizations that I've had over the years, and I feel it's appropriately indicated in order to provide you, the viewer, with a perspective if you choose to answer this poll concerning your own thinking pattern mode. By even explaining this, I am casting a type of bias in this poll, and it's very purposeful because of the very specific demographic who tends to view this video content. Again, I'm saying those with a high fluid intelligence tend to have the potential for a higher IQ, because the fluid intelligence is extremely difficult, if not impossible, to improve upon, whereas a crystallized intelligence reflects what's learned and therefore can be improved upon. So it would then go on to suggest, if there is a correlation with thinking visually or not using verbal language in thinking, that those individuals would have a higher ceiling on their intelligence compared to those who have an inner monologue. This could all be hogwash, but I'm not sure. In a subsequent video, I will reveal this video I'm drawing upon as a source, which would be the tada, if and that is assuming you've not already used the provided context clues to determine who this individual is who made this video. Thank you for your consideration.